Okay, we're almost through to where it's recording. Hi, I'm David Newren. I have my friend Lauren on the phone with me. Lauren and I have known each other for a couple of decades. And we've had several experiences together that have been way beyond ordinary. And in an experience that is impossible to forget, observing somebody else fully awaken into a cosmic level of consciousness, to see that occur in another person, and undeniably so in your experience of yourself, seeing that and feeling that occur for someone else. So Lauren and I have had a few breakthroughs over the past 25, 20 years, however long we've known each other. And so we're getting together on the phone tonight to address where we are consciously, each one of us. And we're doing this live so that anybody else that this appeals to, anyone else who feels like this could also be a benefit to them, then follow along as if the things that I'm saying for you. And instead of getting your intellectual mind, figuring it out, allow your experiential sense of knowing take over, where you know that you're moving in a pathway of freedom that's granting you more and more being and presence and an ability to be here as your authentic self. So if that's what we're inviting each other to participate in, then it seems like we're holding the very best expectations and observations of each other that one could have. So on that note, we'll begin. The reason that we're doing this is so that we can further open and feel and express ourselves at a level where we know we're no longer conflicted. We're no longer, diminished or traumatized or suffering, in our experience of ourselves here. And so in doing that, it's inescapable for you to be willing to experience exactly who and what you are here. If you are expecting to have...
Hello?
Yes, somebody else is calling in. Okay. So Lauren, I want you to relax, and I want you to get out of the space where you feel like I don't know or understand you well enough to tell you what to do, to guide you. So give in to the possibility that I might be aware enough to be able to guide you into a further unfolding the realization that you've been asking for yourself. Allow for the possibility that you could have that experience while you're talking to me, and then you'll have blessed yourself with the best that can occur, and that is being willing to experience a cosmic God, Christ, Buddha level of consciousness with the one you're with. If you can give that blessing to the people that you're with, the ones who are with you, then you're opening to the possibility that life can change transcendently, quantumly, for the better for you. But first we have to take full responsibility for ourselves as we are. Because what holds us back from making that quantum leap, that self-realization that sets you free, what's holding us back from that is the blame that we've given others for our circumstances in life. We have to let go of all that because it's not true. No matter what somebody else did to you, you were there for them, for that kind of person to do that to you. And at some point, you've known that you've always had the choice to be with who you choose to be. And if you choose to be here with a particular, predictable type of person, then you can just assume that that's going to go forward into the future. And so why would you spend a moment with someone who doesn't like you? If they can't open into their appreciation of life when they're with you, if they can't feel for themselves a gratitude for the level of connection that you have with them, then why are you with them? What obligation do you have to spend all of your time or most of your time with people who don't think the best of you? People who don't inspire you to be better and to exceed your limitations, but instead inspire you to protect yourself from them. End off on all of that. End off on everybody who wants to be your opponent, wants to battle you, wants to conquer you, wants to better you. You know, that's a horrific reality to participate in. Stop it. Don't do it anymore. So at that level, we're able to let go of a whole level of pain and solidity and discomfort that has put us in a state of kind of a seizure where we're in a constant state of tension from a forgotten trauma. So at the point that you take full responsibility for yourself, that you were the cause of your conditions that became your experiences in this life. So you don't get to blame anyone else and make the next step in consciousness. As long as you blame others, you can't transcend. As long as you blame others, you can't know what it is to be whole, to be complete, to be realized. I'm not saying I'm enlightened, but I know enough to know that punishment isn't something that should be done in order to correct somebody else. We should find a way for them to open their understanding, their own level of self-realization, their own knowing of what creates in your life, what blesses them with a better life. It's their responsibility. It's their owning their life and awakening at a point where they begin to be at peace with being themselves here. They're not considering it a torture or a burden anymore. They're beginning to enjoy themselves and to enjoy life. And so in order for that to be true for me and for you, we have to enjoy the life that we have right now. Know that we're responsible for it and know that this is our last taste of it. So, embrace it divinely and say, yes, this was my creation and now I am free to create again. How do you make transitions in consciousness to a new state of openness? Something that's even more real than what you were before. With each one of us lies the possibility of self-realizing the truth that would set them free. So if it's possible for all and restricted to none, then it has to be okay for you to make the choice to experience yourself as that, if everyone else can too. And if it's real and true for everyone else, when you look at it to the point of knowing and understanding and having it expressed through you as that, everybody knows what they know, but they don't know what they don't know. And when you're in a fallen, lost, competitive state of consciousness, you're so far away from the truth that would set you free that you can't even be in charge of the exploration of how you get there, because all your choices have been so wrong. And so you have to choose to allow whatever it is that would be worthy of the name divine or sublime or transcendent, or so sensual that all senses were satisfied or gratified and were at peace with the past and the present, and excited in the present to create something new and beautiful in the now. To say it's time for us to express now the truth of who and what we are. To experience walking that pathway to your own freedom, where each step you become that which is in a quantum way better and more than you'd known and even knew how to contemplate being a possibility. Let's assume that it can get really, really good here for somebody that's one with all truth. And when you allow for that possibility to be true, and then you sample it and you realize that it actually is true, it actually quickens you, it opens you, it inspires you to open up and become that which is capable of being intimate with that level of consciousness and to experience it as themselves. So is that what we're here for? Is that what we came to do? Is to be done with who we've been and open into a new me and you, I think that's it. And the only way that we'll know is if we surrender to allowing that to happen for us. And that's a choice that each person has to make for themselves. Choose to open and to let the chips fall where they may as a result of your opening to realizing the truth of whatever everything and nothing is. So be okay with yourself. Be okay with yourself. That's it. With your taking full responsibility for your life, for your circumstances, for your past and your present. You become at peace with being responsible for that. You don't consider it a punishment or an opportunity. It just is. There's no effort in it. It's who you are. And you realize that, and you make it real within your experience of your body. That's what realization is, making something that's true, but not experienced, but could be realized. Allowing that awareness and experience to expand into, including that. So what will you give yourself freedom to experience? How free would you allow yourself to be? How aware? How awakened? How realized? How much are you willing to open? That's the difficult thing. It's not how do you figure it out and how do you get there. It's how do you dare to open into your experiencing that? How do you dare? because it forces you to move through an experience of everything that ever limited you. So it's, there's that level of the experience, which, I didn't find and continue to don't find that as being joyful. It's painful to realize how messed up you are. But close your eyes and just feel it. Just feel what you are. You know it's a mess. That doesn't matter really. You are what you are. And as messed up as you are, that's how messed up you are. Nobody's trying to say that you're more or less than the truth of whatever it is that you are. We accept you as you are, and we request that you accept yourself as you are as well. It takes both of us accepting you for the doorway to fully open for you to say, okay, what do I have to say for myself? Am I willing? Am I willing to shift, to be a part of that shift that moves reality into a higher state of consciousness, into a society of everybody choosing to awaken and to create in beautiful ways that are in sync with every other beautiful way that could be created by each individually inspired, cosmic consciousness, everybody. Of the consciousness of every body awakened to that. A way to move in synchronicity with reality completely, totally, in such a way that reality no longer felt threatened by us, because it's not. Reality has the possibility of choosing its way into a better expression and experience and awakened knowing of self. That shift is, here and ready to occur. But each individual has to choose that experience for themselves. So know that you have the choice and decide what your choice is and make it. I'm doing the best I can for that myself right now. It's difficult to do, but choose to awaken. Focus there until you realize that it is the right thing for you to choose to be here. Choosing that from a level of cause, from a level of awareness where your choice is what happens. So allow that level of consciousness to experience who you've created yourself to be here. And surrender that love, surrender to the inspection of yourself by that level of consciousness. Allow a transcendent awareness, a universal truth of awareness. Allow that full access to you, to embrace you in every way, to know you completely. And in your surrender to allowing the divine to know you, do you begin to know yourself in such a way that you're a movement of greater and greater freedom, greater and greater realization in each new moment of time? It's a lot to confront in me. Yeah, it's a terrible burden that I've created for myself. I don't know why. There's no apparent reason for it. I just chose to create troubles for myself. But as you take responsibility for having been that in your past and had that result in your presence in this moment as you are, that you're the creator of that. Without your focusing on a separate individual as being the cause or the blame or the reason, good or bad, for being the way that you are. Once you've taken that total responsibility for yourself, then you have to take responsibility for the bad effect you've had on everybody throughout your entire life when you were not taking responsibility for yourself, where you were not creating well for yourself, and thus you were not creating well for others either. So for me, I have to realize that I've been, at times a bad influence on reality, where I've chosen poorly. And when I admit that, I have to experience the results of what that created. Those results are kind of a crushing reality. It's wow, look at all this pain and destruction I needlessly caused when everybody could have been celebrating their joyful experience of themselves and others instead. So once you realize that you didn't bless this world in that way, and you could have, then you have to take responsibility for that not occurring. Because if you held it back, it couldn't occur for you, either for yourself or through your experience of someone else. So it's you that has to choose to open, because the divine isn't going to save you. If it did, it would be validating a false you, this disabled you that needs help, that's lost and fallen and trapped. You're the only reason it's that way. So if somebody else is living their truth and sees you experiencing what you're experiencing because you haven't embraced yours, they know that it's your choice to embrace, and if you're not doing it, then why would they have anything to do with you? Because they give you a free choice. You have to decide what's important to you in life. And if knowing the truth first is what you want before you make any lifetime commitments, keep your commitments. Yeah, I think I can be around for, medium length of time. Hope that makes sense. Let me turn Lauren's volume up. Hey, Lauren, is there anything you'd like to ask?
I guess when you really know yourself is after you've forgiven yourself for not being awakened when making certain.
It has to be. It has to be a no big deal. You've taken complete responsibility for it, but it doesn't really matter that you did it. It only matters that you're choosing to be done with it, and you're not blaming anyone else because you took full responsibility for yourself. And now you're not even blaming yourself because you realize what an idiot level of consciousness you somehow sunk to, and so you couldn't condemn yourself from acting out in the way that would be predictable for that level of consciousness. So if you're going to transcend, you have to let your condemnation of yourself fall away, because doesn't matter what happened before you awakened or realized or experienced a new state of enlightenment. Yes? Did you have
were you talking?
Oh, did you want to make another comment?
I didn't know if there happened to be anyone else who is listening that is potentially going to or want to comment or is involved. I didn't know that, so I'm not sure what.
No, look, you can just say whatever you want to me. You don't have to figure anything out. Just say whatever you want to me. If there's anything that you'd like to know, anything you'd like to focus on, anything that you'd like help with, just tell me. I'll repeat what you say, and then we'll address it. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, so just tell me what you want.
I'm pretty much, let's put it this way, I'm pretty happy with who I am, where I am, how I've been okay with my not allowing others to define who I am.
You should never do that. You can't let
at
others.
one time I was very debilitated by the control or the attempted control by others throughout years. And
okay, but why are we discussing that?
Because I guess
what is it that you don't think that you want? What is it that you don't think I understand?
I do think
okay, so just
understand.
So just tell me something that you want to change for the better about yourself. If there is anything. If there isn't, then I could probably suggest something.
I wish I really would like to feel empowered enough to explore a desire I've had for many years. A life-changing situation happened as a child that prevented me in my mind and was told I wasn't good enough and as a child and had believed it.
So here's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that your life didn't become what you really wanted it to be, and there were some reasons why that happened. Okay, well, guess what? The reasons that you're purporting to me are not real, or you would be free. So you're creating a false story of reality that you trap yourself in. None of that story has any meaning. It wasn't true. And there's no need to try and fix it because it was just a fabrication. It wasn't the divine essence of you.
I think it was. I think I've missed a lot because I wanted to sing. And my mother used to play piano and I would sing. She died. My father got rid of the piano. I was told I wasn't good enough. And I believed it and never felt the joy that I had for so long that I feel like I'm going to regain. I've been regaining it. It's just a matter of, for me, wanting to share that with some people who would appreciate that and enjoy having someone come to sing to them and help them to feel better. That's just something that I'm saying it would help my heart a great deal to be able to do that in the future. So I am going to pursue it.
So can I address that now?
Yes.
Okay. We first have to make sure we're not being too proud of who and what we are here, claiming to know in our experiencing our life in a manner that we don't want to be experiencing it. Until we know that this daily experience we have is our creation, and we can allow ourselves to be changed so that we can choose better. then instead of trying to explain to me the way things are and why they're that way, as if that's a truth that can't be, switched in a very short period of time, miraculously, if you're open enough. So let's just move to the possibility of the best that you could have become here. As soon as you start creating more good than evil, you start to become more and more comfortable with your life, because at our heart, we're all decent. We want to be. We want to help others here. We want to be something that made the world a better place as a result of our life here. Now, we're not very close to anyone, seemingly, here living in a manner where that's how reality experiences them. When are you going to let reality experience you as someone who understands it, gets it, doesn't resist it, blesses it, and inspires it to choose even better for itself? What would it be like to be you at that level of consciousness that is theirs for your choosing it, and continuing to choose it in each new moment? It does take some time, but once you choose it, open, accept it, and then choose it again immediately, so that whatever opposes it has to deal with a new choice every moment of further awakening, further realization, further opening. Keep choosing to open. Stay in the middle of that opening and allow yourself to be the center of creation somehow. The place where there's a spot that's open to the universe to interact with it. What if that spot were you? What if you made that choice? What if you opened and had that reality? Then how could we experience you here after you were that? How much easier would it be for me to be my truth if you were moving through reality as that being that I saw once in the condo in Sacramento, where you threw off your identity, your ego, your story, and all lies and all stories and all beliefs and ideas burned off in an instant, in a second. And what was left of you was the most transcendent being I'd ever experienced. It's hard for me to say that to you because you're so far away from opening to experiencing yourself as that in each moment. But that's what I want you to do, to choose to open and to open more and to continue to open more in every moment. And stay on that cutting edge of knowing and not knowing, heaven and hell, just being right there at the point of that coming together where the magic of transformation happens. That's what you're surfing, is that edge where there's an active, ongoing, evolving creation happening. That's you. You're open to quantum leaps, quantum shifts. And so if so, what would it look like? Let's see. Maybe it might be something like this. Everything that I feel in my body, no matter how painful and tense, and if I'm going to go all the way with this, then I'm going to have to feel all of this horrible feelings in my body, in the experience of awakening and realization at the same time. So that's what you do. You open and realize and take responsibility and end off with who you are and without blaming yourself or anyone else, and then you take your next leap. You let everything that happened before go, because it no longer matters, because now you chose to be even a more open channel for the truth of the divine as you. Well, that does something to me. It's asking me to feel more and more and more, to take the risk of feeling too much in a difficult way, to be able to hold on to the self-realization. That's been my issue. Surrendering too much and not surrendering enough. How can you surrender too much? By giving up responsibility and saying that it's all somebody else's cause and 0% theirs. Well, it's paradoxically true. But you have to take 100% responsibility in complete surrender. 100% responsibility while you're completely surrendered to the experience of transcendent realization. You let it happen from where you're at. No matter how painful it is to be you, that's where you wake up. Each person is uniquely shut down in their own way, and they awaken from who and what and where they are. From what their reality is, from what their truth is. There's no condemnation in that. Each one is as they are, so what? When they choose to awaken, when they choose to realize, when they choose to open, what happened the moment before and the eons before that no longer matter. Because somebody's chosen to open into experiencing what a transcendent consciousness is. Until they know it as themselves, truly know it as themselves. Not as something that they've just become for the first time, but something that they've always been, that they went unconscious to for a moment or a lifetime or two. But once you remember, you're put back together, remembered. You have the whole picture, the whole creation from Alpha to Omega, right? Then at that point, with no opposition, without fighting anyone, without trying to win while you're trying to make someone else lose. Focus on that. Be willing to receive what the universe wishes to bless you with. Open to that first, before you start complaining about your circumstances. You're having a hard time remembering what came before when you open enough. And the truth is, it doesn't matter. Because there's a new you coming through. Because you opened to a transformational process where you awaken to a greater and greater extent. Where you become the embodiment of the temple of cosmic Christ, Buddha, Krishna consciousness. Mother Mary too. Bottom line is you awaken, and it's okay. And it's okay for you to do it right now. It doesn't have to be a process. This doesn't have to be second video, although I'll do one. But all you need to do is let yourself awaken. Open up and have the experience of that shift, that change, that reforming, restructuring, perfecting that which you can be here. Since you don't know how to do it, but you know that the choice is yours to make, and that somehow it'll happen. You don't need to or want to or get to be in charge of that process from your level of consciousness, something that you allow to be done to you. So that's the complete surrender. You've taken complete responsibility for being such a low level of consciousness that you never allow yourself to figure it out for yourself. So you have to receive it from somebody else. So you surrender to whatever it is that can give you that transcendent realization as an interaction with them. Then you realize that that was always an option for you. It was what was normal for you before you went asleep. So if we're all asleep here, all I can say for sure is that I am. But I want to wake up. I've woken up before. And I'm willing to do and be and say whatever's necessary that brings a pathway of truth and freedom and joy. That's what I want. It's what I want to create. It's what I want to have. It's what I want to do for the rest of my life here. I want to find that for myself, and then to interact with others that it's real for, or where they're willing to have that be real for them too. We each have to make that choice, and you can see that I haven't allowed too much yet. Doesn't mean I won't, because I truly want to. But I have to do it and interact with reality, so I guess that's why I'm videotaping this, because reality has to know that I'm asking something different of it than how it's been for me before. So I have to say that, the purpose is freedom of consciousness, of beingness, of awareness, of knowing. Then having that be your experience of yourself in a moving miracle in reality, and the positive benefits it has in inspiring your friends and your family and everyone you know to choose better for themselves. When you surrender to the truth, it sets you free. The divine begins to flow through you. Not that you created it, not that you deserved it, because we know you've already fully and eternally condemned yourself to punish yourself for not being that by thereby never being that ever again. That was real intelligent, right? Oh, I fell from grace. Now I'm going to punish myself to never be grace again because I wasn't grace once. I was, and then I fell, and now I judge myself for that occurring, and the punishment of that judgment is never knowing grace again as my experience and expression of myself. So where are the possibilities of consciousness for you? Do you have to abide by the limitations that have been our collective human experience before? I don't think so. Nobody will care if you choose better for yourself. Really better for yourself, where it gets better for everyone as a result. Wouldn't that be the best thing that you could choose for yourself? Everything getting better for everyone all at the same time, as soon as each one chooses to open and receive that for themselves. Yeah, why not?
I think I've opened, connected for myself a sense of being embraced and in a state of grace that I hadn't been in a long while.
Okay.
And I'm going to go forward. I think I'm a gypsy at heart, so to some extent, I think I'll be moving in a direction that I will be traveling, however that happens to be, in whatever form I happen to be. That is how I feel, and it emanates from who I am.
Okay. So is that moving you to a greater level of freedom on a pathway?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
yes.
Good. So then you certainly have my blessing.
And I guess I'm hoping to hear from you what is your course of freedom, where your sense of who you are is moving you, and in what direction that is.
It's for me, life and reality are conspiring to have me be relatively free again. To not be part of a family unit, which is a terrible experience, that separation. But that's the way that it's gone. And so it's like being single again. I don't have those responsibilities of having a mate and sharing her concerns, Not that I don't share her concerns, but let's just say that we both did such a poor job with each other that it didn't work for either one of us. And it's sad and it's tragic, but that's what we created, and it ended with neither one of us wanting to try anymore. So there's my situation that created my freedom, which was, a series of unfortunate and bad choices by me. So now I have the result. And so now the question is how do I turn the result into exactly what was supposed to happen, so that then the very best outcome for myself in terms of realization and enlightenment, that the path I took to get here up to this moment was the perfect one. So give yourself
when you're on your path, when you find that path, it will be the path. You want to and feel who you are, won't you at that point, at some level, have a greater sense than when you were on or find that part of you?
I'm having a hard time following your point. Be a little more concise.
It's while you're working through this, if you have a sense of what path you are taking now,
I'm
take it.
Yeah. So what I'm doing for myself is, this is the first live session I've done with anyone. And so I'm doing something that I've never been willing to do before tonight. So I'm expanding my boundaries. I'm putting myself out there. I'm saying that there's something really strange about me, but I think it's good. And I want to devote myself to that. until I fully know what my possibilities are here and embrace them in such a way that I realize that is my experience.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing for yourself, the very, very best thing. And if you're trying to figure out what that is, or if you're not choosing good enough for yourself, let me just say that whatever connection that you have to that being that was the truth of you, that for a couple of hours lighted up the living room at Misha's condo. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know if the world could accept such a being. But you know what? Why not? Give it a chance. Why not be a you that's so transcendent that people have to sit down in awe? That's what Misha and I did. We sat down and said, what the hell is happening? And what was happening was you instantly shed every lie of the story and the creation and the ego of you. You did it in a second, or less than 1 second. It was all gone. And the only thing that remained was that was absolutely real and true about you at a much higher level. There might still be a story in there, but let's just say that it was the story of such freedom that from here, that could only be experienced as something truly transcendent and divine. Whether it's transcendent or divine or not from that level of experience, I don't know. But, that's the ticket that we're punching, and that's the experience we're opening to.
I mean, David, I know what happened to the degree. I know what preceded and what I was trying to do. And then it had to do with the healing for you that evening. Mm-hmm. It started off with that. Okay.
Really? Why didn't you remember it the next day? You'd forgotten about it. How did you come?
I think.
How did you come back to knowing that happened?
I mean, I know I lost a period of time. I knew that there was a chunk of time that was gone.
Yeah.
I know what happened, what I was doing and focusing on. My energetic level that I was focusing on trying to heal you, because when I came into that evening, you were on the massage table, and Misha was trying to help you with some physical and other, but
I'm not sure we're talking about the same evening, but
yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. And then I sat down and was trying to energetically assist. And then I guess that's what opened it.
No. My experience was, and that's why I think it's a different night, my experience was that Misha and I were sitting on the couch, and you opened the front door and walked in, and in walking into the energy of the room, because Misha and I had been having a truly transcendent archangelic experience, and then you walked into the energy of that room and completely lost your false identity in 1 second. You walked in and you became an angel of glory, and you spoke as that for 2 hours, and we sat on the couch dumbfounded, too stupid to have turned on a recorder to say whatever it was that you said.
Yes, so I do remember walking in. I'll tell you what it was too. When I walked in, I now can see it. Okay, I could see it, and it was like just all of this. Oh, I could see the energy. I could see all of this in like color and energy and everything, that it was like stepping into another dimension.
That's exactly what you were doing. And so you stepped into the next dimension, and you couldn't hold on to your identity from here. And so then what
Mm-hmm.
did you experience at that point? Have you got access to that?
Um, yes, there's a sense that in certain conditions and situations that will allow for it, yes. And yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well,
Um,
then do it now, please. Let's not don't
mm,
don't try to describe things to me. Flow your open expression of you continuing to open into more and more freedom. Have that be your communication to me. Let me feel
mm,
your choice to open into a similarly transcendent level of expression right now. Let me feel what happens in you making that change, because you chose to choose that, open it, and receive it, and embody it, and know it as your own. Can you make that choice right now?
I don't know
Try,
right now,
try,
but
try,
well,
try, try right now for the next 30
um,
seconds. Try to make that choice right now. Try to say yes. Try to say yes. So now you started to want to say yes. Want to say yes more. Want it more. Know that it's good. Know that it's
it's,
right. And then choose. There's what?
there's some things that have to, um,
There's no
be
have
in the
tos.
state.
There's no have tos. You can have it right now. Open and let everything that is mattering to you right now, allow it not to matter anymore, because you're shifting up to another quantumly rare and refined level of knowing and consciousness, and in such a way that you're quickly going to shift everything in your reality for the better. So don't worry too much about the way things are. First, know your new home. Get to be comfortable at your new level of consciousness. Relax. Allow yourself to experience your own body from that level of consciousness before you plan on anything else. Allow your truth to set the body free. It seems endless for me, the amount that I have to confront this, and obviously it's because I continue to create it for myself. So I do create this for myself, but it's not what I want consciously. So what's up with that? What your experience isn't what you consciously want, then why not open more? Open and receive more. Allow a universal embrace of you. Allow yourself to be known in a manner that's so safe for the universe to know you, that the universe begins to cherish you, to cherish the experience of you, because you don't blame it or judge it. You just love it as you observe it awakening.
I guess my feeling is this is not. It's in it. I was in a very safe place, and I could altogether. And when I say that, I mean in a
being
very safe and place.
Yeah, but
Yes.
you don't have to be in a safe place for this. This is the safe place. You don't have to behave inappropriate. You don't have to behave inappropriately with anybody if you are transcendently realized. You can behave in the most appropriate way that you've ever dealt with everybody that you deal with if you let that happen for yourself. It's not going to create bad effects on you if you awaken, if you realize.
I do feel I am appropriate. However, I also feel like there are things in this world happening that need to be addressed, and sometimes the only communication that I can extend to someone is in a different form. Not they can.
I understand. I understand.
Yes.
I understand. But we're not discussing circumstances and theory and reasons why something can't happen. We're doing the opposite of that. We're exploring why it can happen anyway, even with you saying everything true about what's true. The truth doesn't matter. It's only letting go of the lies that matter. All those thoughts and ideas and beliefs and identities.
Then I feel I've done that. I feel I've done that. I'm here to help if there's a means by which two others who could use some help in releasing some of their own and getting a sense, and they need to be open to it, so that I know they're open. I'm not going to knock on people's doors here and say, "Oh,
what don't I know about you that I should have known? That you're already okay? That you're already you've already made a quantum shift, and so don't need to look at that?
I've made a shift from I was feeling for myself that I haven't. There were weeks or time that you and I have spoken, and maybe months or so ago, that I was having a difficult time in the number of areas that I've worked through that were causing blockages to me. I think I spent a lot of time on the phone with our friend Annie.
Yeah.
And that helped a great deal over a period of time. We were talking quite a lot.
But you're talking about things that are occurring at a normal level of consciousness that is admirable from a normal level of consciousness, beautiful. But from...
And we were exploring things that were not on the day-to-day.
From the wholeness of yourself, whatever you haven't embraced, open and embrace it right now. That's the only reason why we're talking. So do your best, and I'll do my best to open up more so that I'm no longer trapped or limited in my consciousness, my awareness in any way by my choice. I'm letting all of that, all the reasons why I should diminish myself, go. Because it hasn't done any good. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked for anybody. There's no reason for you to not make your transition and be your best self right now. Lauren, you proved you can do it.
You're in my life, David. You believe what but no one, and that my daughters, they don't know me. They don't know me. It's very hard.
I know what you're saying. What you don't know is what I'm saying. That doesn't matter, because you're not being what would inspire them in that moment. You're being something else. Look, I've experienced.
They think I'm crazy, David.
I know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You'll be less crazy when you fully awaken. We're all crazy. We're all they are very, very closed, and they don't. But you're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. You're telling me why it can't happen to you. And I'm telling you how it can. And we're having an argument. Who's going to win? Stop it already, or I can't do any more sessions with you. You have to at least try. You have to say, I want to say yes to being spiritually free and aware. And to know and to have an experience of myself that isn't somebody else doesn't know me, somebody else doesn't understand me, somebody thinks I'm crazy. Well, so what? Would I be doing this if I wasn't crazy? Would I be doing this if I cared about what anyone else thought of me? Of course I do. I don't want them to ridicule me, but at the same time, if I'm going to
my adult daughters, my grandchildren, my entire family, these are the people in my life.
If they think you're crazy, you created it and you're not owning it. You're putting it on them. You created that experience in them. They didn't create that experience in themselves. You gave it to them and said, here's who I am. And they go, oh my God. You know, if you opened your mind enough to know who and what they were, who and how they were configured in each moment, and knew how to communicate into them in such a way where that moment became a safe one, became a sacred one, became one where they, oh my God, she gets me. She understands. So if you had an effect on them other than that, you're the one who did it. So quit blaming it on them.
No, they chose different paths.
But why? Because of you. Because of the experience that they had of themselves when they were with you. If they had had a different experience, they would have made different choices. So why are you fighting me on the possibility of you making a quantum shift in this moment right now? Why are we arguing? Why are you demanding that it can't happen for you?
I'm okay, you're right.
Okay, so will you stop talking? Will you stop explaining it to me?
Yeah.
Do you think you're explaining it to me and dominating the conversation is going to make it easier for me to assist you and guide you into the experience that you've been praying for your whole life? I mean, as if I could do that. Of course I can't, but I think I can say something that might allow you to have an easier time saying yes to that experience for yourself. So,
okay, David. Yes, I will.
So you have to let go of who and what you think I am. Because whoever you're communicating to isn't here anymore. I don't care. The only thing I care about is, in our interaction, is it causing the other to be inspired to awaken even more? So if I don't have that effect on you, then I'm going to spend more time with somebody I can have that effect on. Does that make sense? I want to be successful with my time in helping people open. So I've seen you open at a level I've never seen anyone else open. So quit fucking telling me that it can't happen and it can't be real and it can't be true, because I experienced a level of truth through you more than 20 years ago, probably. I don't know when, but a long time ago. And so stop saying that something less than that is real. It's just what is. And what is today doesn't have to be here tomorrow. What is in the moment can change in this moment too, if you let it. So let's let it. Let me feel yourself allowing yourself to open. No matter what part of you says no. You say, I'm opening anyway. God bless you. And open and feel what it is to be set free. Open and know within your experience of yourself what a transformation feels like. I might even do it myself. God knows it's what I've been looking for. I love looks like I'm going to get some relief finally. So whatever you have to confront, you confront. Then you let it go. It doesn't matter anymore. You take responsibility. You notice it, you take responsibility, you experience it, and you go, yucky. But then you don't care. You owned it and you let it go. It doesn't matter. Even the ones about your most intimate relations with your family members. Doesn't matter, because it was who you were being before that caused them to interact with you that way. And once you experience yourself having had a transformative experience into a new quantumly expanded level of being for yourself, then I think they'll have a different opinion of you the next time that they meet you. So let it happen. Stop saying no. First stop saying no, then consider saying yes. But stop saying no to every invitation, every suggestion, every invocation of the divine that surrounds you in every way, and you still say no. It's okay, but know that you don't have to anymore. You can still say no, but it's not required anymore. It's not necessary. It's not important. It's not your job anymore. Your job now is to open and be free. Your job here on who you were being before is done. You did it exactly the way it needed to be for reality to be the way it is in this moment. So your job here is done. In this moment, you accept it as a completion. It's done. It's created, and it's this. It's done. Stop. Everything that happened to make it this way was okay. There are no heroes, and there are no bad guys or girls or beings or spirits or nothing. Everything was okay. And everything and everyone gets to choose to awaken. And people are choosing. People are opening. People are knowing themselves more and more in each moment. And it's going to start getting good. So, let yourself be free by allowing freedom, an undeserved freedom, to overcome you. At any rate, I think we're getting pretty close to having, expressed what the point and purpose is, and hopefully anybody that sees this is then going to say, oh, obviously he's crazy, but on the other hand, could he be right as well at the same time? It's possible. And if you looked at it, if you opened and experienced and found what it is to be whole, to be universal.
It is opening, David. And I'm hearing different names that I hear when I'm on that path, and they're all different names for me.
Okay.
That I hear when I'm opening. So I'm hearing them. They're coming through as you were talking.
Right now. Okay, so good. So you're opening. So
yeah.
Okay, so let me feel that opening to the divine through you. I want to feel that divine reality through my connection with you. Okay? Would you allow that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm open. So without filtering that divine reality that you're connected to, just allow it to flow freely through you without without being in control of the direction or the frequency or the volume. Just surrender to the experience of the divine flowing through you unimpeded into this reality, into your connection with me. Help me in my transition. Help me in my choice. Help me in my realization by being yours. That's the best blessing that you could bless anyone with, is your own self-realization. And thereby you would have a complete understanding of the other person, their circumstances, and the reasons why. And you could say, got it. I understand. I know how it is. And I know how it can be also. So once you're willing to know how good it can be here consciously for us, allow that just to be who you are. Allow the shift to be you. Because it has to be you. It has to be each one of us. But as you choose, it'll be easier for us to choose the same. And if somebody else is choosing that for themselves, it'll be easier for you to choose. So let's choose everybody. Everybody to open and open more and more. And to create more and more beauty. More and more light, love, more grace and peace. So that's the movement, that's the consciousness. That's the opening. Have the realization in you.
It seems to be pretty open and seems like my helps to know when I hear my name.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps.
Okay, Lauren. Everything that I said for your benefit, for your opening, for your awakening, for your self-realization. So know that I know the truth of you, even if you might not have realized it yourself. I know. And I'm saying, come back as that.
Thank you.
Okay?
And you could call me Avi Ella. That's okay too.
Well, let's just say this, Lauren. Transcendent you time. And whatever the name of that transcendent you is, be that now. Stop being Lauren. Choose another name. What's your new name?
Ella.
Ella?
Avi Ella.
Avi Ella?
Yes.
Avi, A-V-I, Ella. E-L-L-A?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Avi Ella. Okay. So let's let Avi Ella be a flow and awareness and awakening movement of the divine feminine. Let it be the muse of singing, and laughter, the voice of reason and wisdom, the courage of true justice. True justice comes in and punishes sin with self-realization and awareness of their enlightened and divine nature. And share with them a reawakening of themselves as that. Because that's what you want for them, for yourself. You want to go home. You want, if you're going to be embodied, you want to be embodied as your true nature of your eternal consciousness, if you have one, of your identity that moves before and during and beyond this life that encompasses all lifetimes, all dimensions, all realities of you. So, whatever it takes for you to experience that universal wholeness and completion and wisdom and understanding, open up until that is the truthful expression of you. Boy, do I have to open a lot for that to be my truth and my expression. But you know what? It's an invitation to open, and I'm doing my best to. So tonight, I think we'll leave it at that and say, this is what we explore. In this series that this is the first one of, we're exploring in live time, the experience of moving through that which keeps us trapped and lost and confused, and we experience it with the intention of knowing and understanding and being free from it, so that it no longer acts as a creative causative force in who and what we are here. We're putting an end to that cycle, to that level of creation for the experience of ourselves. So you're complete as you are. You're successful. You successfully created yourself as you are in this moment. Congratulations. You're done.
That's very nice. Thank you, David.
You're done. It's over. So, well done. Complete. Finished.
Thank you, David. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like there's possibilities are open up for greater and greater levels of consciousness, and I'm grateful for that. And I hope that this isn't too weird for anybody, because again, another reason for sharing this is I know what happens when I experience somebody waking up. I can't stay asleep myself. And so if there's a community of people who open and experience their own awakening, and they interact with each other, it's a mutual support system until you are completely expressed as the divine, with nothing within yourself opposing your own free expression as that. So on that note, thanks for watching. I'm going to try and do this 3 times a week if anybody's willing to talk to me. And
okay,
so
let me know when
Tuesday night we're going to do it again, hopefully around 8 o'clock Utah time. And who I'm going to be talking to, I don't know, but you'll be able to follow it on YouTube Live for whatever this.
Send me that link, because I don't think I have it.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Good night, Lauren.
All right.
Thanks.
Good night, David.
Bye-bye. Okay. So for myself, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end the broadcast, and I'm going to focus my attention on allowing myself to experience what I was describing for Lauren, so that I can be cleaned up on the inside, where the pain and the trauma and the limitation and the suppression and judgments still live, as my experience of myself. So I'm going to dive into that pool until the water's fine. Or, if not fine, holy. And do that yourself. And then come save me. And by save me means say, look, what the hell? Something divine happened to me. That's what we all want to see for you. Your every friend, your true families. Those that care, those that cherish you, those that love you. Would love it if you had a wow, wonderful opening that made you an even greater pleasure to be with than you were before for them. Then from there, from your support system, being so grateful for your moving into a greater level of freedom. That reality moves through the universe as hey, here's a new person, a new awakening. Access that so that you interact appropriately. And then the whole universe just kind of morphs into a harmonic resonance with whatever it is that you've allowed yourself to be now. A somewhat better version of you. So, take some time. Let that happen to you. It's time for me to see if I can let that happen to myself more than I have. So, thanks to, if anybody ever listens to this, it would be a miracle, but thanks and good night.